So
Florida versus Arizona, 7 o'clock Monday night, tomorrow night, I guess you want to call it. Defending national champs. Can we go back to back? Tyler, can we?
yeah, I absolutely think we can. I mean, I think there's a couple like key questions that need to be answered if that's going to happen, but absolutely, I think you can.
Yeah, so looking at Ken Palm here, it has Florida winning by 5 points. 89, where'd it go? 84-79. I would consider that a pretty good win there. Taking a look at Florida's projected starting lineups. Boogie Flan, he didn't play in any of the scrimmages, but from everything we hear, like, he should be that guy. And he was that guy for a good part of last year, until the injury happened. I think people look at his numbers and they're a bit deflated by him coming back injured in the tournament, like decreasing his points per game, decreasing his 3-point percentage, and all of that while Arkansas was still struggling to get congruent offensively. And he's a great defender. Like, that's something that people are underrating about Boogie Flan, his ability to defend. And I think
it's the main thing I hear about him. Like not from like that's like when you listen to like analysts, like draft people and stuff talk about him. Like I feel like the main thing they talk about is his defense. So yeah.
Yeah, so Boogie Flan, I'm expecting great things from him. And, it's tough losing 3 elite guards in Walt, Will, Amart. You can't ever replace them. You can just hope to get good play from your new guards. And now it's only 2 instead of 3 this year with Xavier Lee beside him. But I think Boogie Flan's defensive upside, like, Walt was a willing defender at times and made some pretty good plays last year. Obviously, arguably the game-winning play in the national title game. No, it wasn't arguably. He did make the game-winning play in the national title game there. So he had his moments there, and then, Amart was still a bit undersized, or, it wasn't like compared to Boogie, I guess, a little bit, like with his wingspan and everything. But I mean, elite defender, and Will Richard also. Elite defender,
sorry.
But
go ahead.
I think Boogie could be the best defender of any of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, he has he's certainly the most talented backcourt defender we've had under Golden. I mean, whether he can maximize that. I mean, I think you're gonna have really good play from him. I mean, I think the offensive end, we'll see. It looked pretty good when he was when he was healthy at Arkansas last year. I mean, I think you worry in the backcourt maybe a little bit about Xavier Lee. Like, I think not like worry, but just I think that is the bigger question mark in terms of can he replace because you just lose so much production from Walter Clayton. But I think you might have in Xavier Lee and Boogie Flan, especially, who I think is getting pretty high marks in this regard. You might have better distributors in the backcourt potentially than you had last year. Because I think they can both play the one, and it sounds like they are both going to play the one.
I think I heard Boogie Flan, when they are set in, out of inbounds and everything, Boogie Flan will be the one bringing the ball up the court. But outside of that, it's anybody. He said anybody can. Obviously, Ruben Kinilu isn't going to be bringing the ball up the court, running the floor.
Do it, you cowards.
I mean, hey, I haven't seen how he's looked, anything like that during the offseason, but I really doubt it. It's actually going to be Olivier Roux. No, but I mean, I think we have 2 really great playmakers. Walter Clayton Jr. really surprised people last year with his ability to distribute and be a point guard, but that's not going to be a question with Boogie Flan or Xavier Lee. We know these guys can be point guards, and that's how this offense is going to be able to be helped a bit more. Last year, at times, it would get, okay, we just got to make tough shots. This year should be a lot more fluid. We're able to get a lot of easier looks, easier lanes to the basket, draw more fouls. I know that's something Todd Golden has mentioned, and I mean, look back at 2024 when we had Zion Pullen, who was the first team all SEC point guard, where we were one of the highest free throw shooting teams in the SEC, and then we lose Pullen, and it wasn't our team's style, so we weren't really shooting many free throws. We were one of the lowest free throw shooting teams in the SEC last year. So having these point guards with these bigs, I expect the offense to be more fluid. The difference is, are we going to have the 3-point shooting like we did last year?
Well, I think a lot of that is really going to depend, and I know we've kind of talked about the backcourt, but to look at the front court, I think that's partially going to depend on like how good it, because Tommy Hauck, they're really talking about how he can shoot the three ball.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if that translates. I think even Condon, there's some talk about how he can shoot the three.
Oh yeah.
I think the point I'm trying to make is you're gonna have to kind of get that made up for in the front court a lot, because just this is going to be a very different team stylistically to last season. This is going to be a team that runs through its bigs, which is not what this team was last year, even though it had good bigs. So I think from Lee, I think Lee has a pretty solid track record as a 3-point shooter. I think same with Fland. I think you lose some offensive ability in terms of production from your guards. I mean, we'll see. Maybe Fland takes a big leap, and that's less so than we think. But again, I think you might be able to make up for it if you've got a legit 3 who can play as a big and also hit threes, and Hauck, and if you can even get that from Condon as well. So I think that's going to be the key.
Yeah, talking about the bigs there, I think something a bit underrated. In our scrimmage against Illinois, reportedly, Ruben Chinilu shot 8 of 12 from free throws.
Wow, that would be a very nice development.
Yeah, if Ruben Chinilu has really developed his free throw game, I know he was in the draft process. We were never too concerned about him leaving, but, was getting talk from scouts. But kind of like Will Richard last year, Will Richard really took a step up in his from junior to senior season. And a lot of that's attributed to listening to NBA scouts and hearing what they had to say. And I mean, Ruben Chinilu didn't need to hear NBA scouts say that he needs to improve his free throw shooting.
Yeah.
But, other parts of his game, his offensive skill set, getting to the free throw line more, with the combination of also improving your free throw percentage with our bigs and with our guards' ability to get inside. I mean, I already mentioned it with our free throw, shooting a lot more free throws, but yeah, our bigs being able to score a lot more because of that would also be a really great development from this offense. Ken Palm predicts Florida as the 3rd best offense in the country. These are all predictive metrics here, so a lot will change, obviously. I mean, last year our offense definitely wasn't 3rd, and we were 21st ranked instead of 3rd ranked in general. But I'm expecting this offense to be pretty good. It's just, is it going to be elite like last year, or is it just going to be still like really good? It's going to depend on, as you said, Condon, Hauck, and our depth pieces at shooting threes.
And by the way, I think like it might take a step back, at least in terms of like the 3-point game. And you might still be okay, because you're just, again, I think you're going to have more success like in the post and stuff like that than you had last year, because again, you just have such good bigs, and especially just if Condon can get back to the level, closer to the level of play, maybe even take an improvement from it, but like pre-injury Condon, if we can see that, I think that's going to be dangerous.
All the words I'm hearing is Condon, like he's going to be the best player on this team.
And if that's the case, you ask, can we go back to back? Absolutely we can. If Condon's like an all-American caliber player, absolutely we can.
Yeah, like obviously, like, Condon being best player on your team, it's like he's a great player. That wouldn't be a surprise. But from what's been said, like he might definitively the best player on our team. Like that's going to be really good. I know in the scrimmage, I think it was said he had 24 and 13 against Illinois. So, and you mentioned our offense. We were a top level offensive rebounding team last year in the country. We're gonna have 3 bigs who can all rebound at a high level in Condon, Chinilu, and Hauck.
Yeah.
But then you also still are gonna have Handline come off the bench as well. So even if our shooting does take a step back, our offensive rebounding rate is gonna go up from already elite to even more elite. Like we're gonna be like A&M last year.
Yeah, I think when Florida plays teams when Florida plays teams where it just has like a clear size advantage, I think it's going to be nightmarish to try to win that game as the other team. Like I think you're just going to have I think when Florida plays some of these teams that do have big athletic, front court guys, they might run into a little bit of trouble, and then maybe you lose a couple games because the shooting's not there. But man, yeah, like if Florida is just bigger than you and they can offensive rebound on you, you're going to have a long night playing against this team.
Yeah, and get a bit into our depth here. You're already starting 3 bigs, and then you're going to have a 7'2" center coming off the bench as your 6th man. Now, 6th man, you can define it in different ways, but he's going to be like one of those first guys off the bench right there, and Micah Handlaw, and you're going to be able to rotate those guys back at a really high level. And also, you could still move like Hauck to the 4 and run 3 guards, or if you're putting Ingram at the 3 as a true like 3 small forward there. So that's going to be interesting development. But you look at our depth. From what I'm hearing, AJ Brown isn't going to be much of a factor this year.
He's been kind of banged up, hasn't he?
So yeah, so actually what I heard was that they weren't expecting him to really even be ready, but he's ahead of schedule.
Okay.
But I also heard they're not really expecting him to do too much this year. I heard that his brother Isaiah Brown is probably going to be getting more run. Is going to be getting a lot more run than he got last year, which is just a given. But they're really high on Zay. So
Yeah.
And then Urban Clavsar, when was starting when Boogie Flan was out, in our 2 scrimmage games, he went a combined 9 of 15 from 3.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, I
again,
mean, he's shown it as a shooter, like as a downtown shooter. If he can kind of be a more complete player outside of that, he has a chance to be, I think, a real contributor on this team.
Yeah, so Clavsar, and then we haven't mentioned our 2 freshmen yet, and Alex Floyd and CJ Ingram. I mean, you hear different people talking so much about them, and these are going to be our 7th or 6th, or 7th, 8th, or 9th players off the bench for us this year, and they were top 40 recruits. Not too many teams can say that, but my point here, one of those 2 guys is likely to have a pretty good season for us, and I've heard great things about both of them. CJ Ingram specifically, his defensive ability, his athletic ability as well should be through the roof. And Alex Lloyd is just a guy who just go get a bucket and go get a bucket. That's what I hear from them. So I expect to see them. And if maybe one of those guys, breaks out early in the year, they could definitely increase their role throughout the season.
Yeah, I think kind of going back to what you said earlier, like you're not going to just straight up replace those 3 seniors you lost. I mean, they were some of the best players in the country and seem to be getting some run in the NBA. So obviously that was no fluke. So, but I mean, I think you look at like, can you replace them in the aggregate? And with like a legit NBA guy in Boogie Flan, with a very experienced, good offensive player in Xavier Lee, and then obviously 2 talented freshmen and Isaiah Brown, who they seem to like a lot. I mean, I think there is the hope that you can maybe recreate them a little bit in the aggregate there. Because I think while you don't have like the other than maybe Boogie Flan, sorry, you don't have like the super proven standout in the backcourt, but I think you've got a lot of guys with a lot of potential and talent. So,
yeah, I'm trying to find what the projected Arizona Wildcat starting lineup's gonna be, but Jaden Bradley.
I've got one here. I don't know how
RotoWire.
Yeah, are we looking at the same thing?
Yeah, well, they don't have Koa Pete, their 5-star freshman, starting, and I fully expect him to be starting. I saw something saying Del Orso being a 6th man, and then Koa Pete maybe being at the small forward position. So this Arizona team actually has some pretty good bigs, or they have good size.
Yeah, they have good.
It's the same model that Todd Golden really runs through.
Well, that's kind of what I was, as we get into this matchup, like from everything I can tell about this team, everything I just said, if Florida's bigger than you, they're going to just bully you. I'm not sure this is going to happen on tomorrow night. Like, I think this is a team that can ball with the Gators. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's a tough matchup on both ends.
Yeah. And so Arizona, you look more at their backcourt now. Where'd it go? Jaden Bradley, returning starter. And who's their shooting guard? I just lost it. Brandon Burris. Is he a freshman?
Yes.
A freshman, and then Bradley, a returner. They didn't have a returning point guard because KJ Lewis and Caleb Love are their like highest returners in assist rate from last year in assist. So how well are they going to be able to distribute to all these bigs that Arizona does have? Is going to be an interesting question there. And they have size, but Koa Pete, who's a true freshman 5-star, a lot of talk about him. There's not, like, he's going to be able to bully a lot of teams, but he's going to be facing 20 or 21-year-old Thomas Houck and Alex Condon and Ruben Chinyelu. Like, most teams might have one guy that your 5-star freshman is going to be going up against and can win it. But we're going to have 3 experienced grown men for him to get in his first actual game. So
he's also only listed at 6'8", which I'm not saying that you can't be good at that size, but it's like, that's going to be tough to contend with like Condon when he's like, he's kind of Houck's general height.
I'll say Darian Williams was able to bully us in Texas Tech last year.
I mean, that's true.
As
that's
a
true.
6'6" or 6'7" big.
Not saying it can't be done. Not saying it can't be done.
No.
It's just true freshman in his first game. We'll see.
Yeah, that's my point. Like Williams is a
Yeah.
senior, and Koa Pete's going to be a true freshman. Like he has all the talent, 5-star pedigree to him, but that age does matter, and it's going to be his first game. It's also how does our backcourt mesh together? Because it's gonna be a new starting 1, 2, and 3. How are they able to click together? How does the passing the ball? Are they going to be able to rotate at a high level like they might be later on down the season? But this is also the same for Arizona, for most of their lineup as well. So it might be a slower start for both teams. It might not be. One of these teams could really jump off the board at the beginning of this game. But no, I kind of expect it to be a bit of a slower start. But I kind of think Florida's going to be able to maybe not pull away in this game, but, keep this at a comfortable distance maybe. I know. Here, let me pull them back up. The KenPom rankings, they have Florida at 2 right now, and they have Illinois at 6.
Mm-hmm.
We were missing Boogie Flan. They were missing Stojakovic, Andrei Stojakovic as well. So, both teams missing one player. I'd say Flan's a bit more important to us than Stojakovic is to Illinois, but from how I heard that game went, and KenPom has Illinois at 6. Obviously, these are preseason rankings. Who knows how they'll go? They have Arizona at 15. I think we were able to get a lead and hold on to it and win by 10. I honestly think this game is going to go a bit the same, where we're going to be able to get up and, kind of hold on to the lead, but not pull away.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little hesitant to put that much stock in an exhibition, even ignoring who's available and who's not. It's still an exhibition. You kind of approach those a little differently sometimes. So I don't think you can put too much in Florida beating what is probably gonna be a very good Illinois team. I mean, I think Florida wins this game. I kind of agree with you. I might think it'll be maybe a little bit closer than that than you're kind of implying. I just think it's going to be a tough game where kind of each team has to work through some kinks. But I mean, I think you got to like the matchup for Florida, especially given Florida's experience. I mean, it's just for losing 3 starting seniors. This is just such a very veteran team still. So I'd give Florida the edge here, in a first game of the year situation.
Yeah, maybe you can make the argument, this game is going to be in Vegas, Arizona, a lot more closer to home. Mm-hmm. But I think we've seen Florida play well away from home.
I mean, they played in the Sweet 16 in the Elite 8 in San Francisco, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, we played well. And, in the SEC, we played at Alabama, at Auburn, mm-hmm. and won in those tough environments. So, I don't know how much of a factor that really will be in this game. KenPom, our offense is projected 3rd. Our defense is projected 6th. Arizona's offense is projected 11th, and their defense projected 22nd. Projected, as they said. But KenPom has a pretty clear advantage in the preseason to Florida. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how that ends up. Maybe a bit of a score projection. I like the KenPom. I'm gonna say 86 to 76.
Yeah, I might go a little more high scoring. I might say 88 to 80, but I kind of in that similar ballpark too. Yeah.
All right, so we're both in that same range there. So, hey, it's going to be nice. When's the last time we opened the season with a big win off the bat, a big top 15 win? Or I don't know where Arizona's ranked in the AP poll, but
Florida doesn't play a lot of these games early on, no. Just doesn't play these games game 1 very often at all. I mean, part of that's you win a national championship, you get invited to participate in all of these early season tournaments and elite neutral site games. They want you in those matchups, so it comes with the success.
I remember we participated in the PK 80 in 2017, 2016.
Yeah,
where we got a big win over Gonzaga, and then we choked that game against Duke, but it got a lot of hype for us. It is as if if you would be Arizona, probably similar hype. Well, we're also defending champs, but
I mean, I think if you come out and look and win definitively against Arizona, I think there's going to be a lot of talk they could go back to back, which not that's a hot take, but still.
You look at Florida's first games. 4 of our first 6 games. So Arizona, Florida State, Miami, and TCU. And if we beat TCU, we'd also play another Rhode Island or Wisconsin, right? No, not Rhode Island.
I don't know.
Wisconsin,
to be honest with you.
or Providence, I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah, Wisconsin or Providence. It's a tournament, 14 tournament there. So if you start that season with those 5 wins, if you start 7-0, you got some good wins, like not elite wins. I mean, Arizona might be an elite win, but like it's going to be good enough to where that Duke and UConn game, where those are going to be very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, tough non-conference
back
this year.
to back.
Yeah. It's probably, even if you end up being a really good team that has at least a shot of going back to back, probably going to be hard to replicate record-wise what Florida pulled off last year, just because, again, much tougher non-conference you're working with this time around than what Florida had to deal with last year. But I think it's good. I think it's good to be tested early before the SEC.
Ken Palm currently has us going, does they say the final 23-7? Wait. So they have us projected 23-7, but they only have us underdogs in 3 games because there's a lot of close games. Mm-hmm. So it's like you're going to lose more. You're going to lose, about half.
I mean, that sounds about in line with what my expectations are this year.
And the 3 losses: 1 point at Duke, 1 point. They have it semi away against UConn. That's in Madison Square Garden. That's going to be a UConn home game, basically.
Yeah, for sure.
And the last game of the season by 3 at Kentucky.
So they have us going 17-1 in SEC play.
Well, no, because we play a lot of games.
Sorry. You're just saying those are the games you had that they're underdogs. Yeah.
That we're losing, but because like when they do the projections, they aren't saying they're only losing 3 games. Like if you're a 60% favorite in like 5 games, you're probably going to lose 1 or 2.
It is just an overall record prediction, not going game by game with their numbers and picking it. Okay, it's a weird way to do that, but okay.
It makes sense.
Well, like I get it. It's just like kind of feels unscientific for Ken Palm, like which is otherwise a very scientific outlet. I'd be curious.
Well, if it has you playing like 10 games where you're 60% chance to win, you're probably not gonna win all 10 of those games.
No, like I agree, it intuitively makes sense. I'm just curious how they actually go about deciding what that record is, given that Florida is not picked to lose more than 3 of them. But whatever, is what it is.
Yeah, 13-5 in conference play. So interesting enough there. Big Gator EJ on my way to Vegas. Man, that's gonna be a fun one to do.
That will be fun. That'd be a lot of fun. Have fun at the game.
If the game was on a Saturday or a Sunday, I might have gone for my birthday. So
that would be that would have been a sick birthday trip.
Yeah, I would have. But no, because it's on a Monday. It's just you want to leave for the weekend, then you got to take Monday off work, and then probably Tuesday or
because you're not gonna fly back after the game Monday night, probably.
Yeah, so decided not to. I might go to the Miami game though. That'll be to be determined.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I might actually be. I might be at that one too, depending on what happens.
But that's our basketball talk. We have a long season ahead of us, and hopefully a fruitful one there. And it'd be cool if we're able to find a way to go back to back again.
That could be sick.
UConn took away our reign of being the last team to go back to back, and we got to take it right back from them.
We could restore the Twitter bio because it was the last to cut down back to back, and then they changed to like. I don't remember what it is, but it's basically now just like we cut down back to back, or just like 3-time national champion. But they could change it back to the last to cut down back to back if we do it. So
yeah, would be sick.